Guys, what's going on? Welcome to Serial at Midnight. My name is Heath.
And I'm Bree.
And in this video, we're going to give our non-spoiler review and just the general discussion about the new Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of one Harley Quinn. Is that right?
Yes.
Did I do it?
You did it. And I like that whole title. But we won't use it again. It's very long.
For the rest of this video, we'll just call it Birds of Prey. It's listed as Birds of Prey on IMDb. What is the actual title of this movie? I don't know. We've just come from the theater. We haven't really talked about this movie beforehand. A little bit. But what did you think about Birds of Prey? ...
I liked it. I didn't love it. And I didn't hate it. I just liked it.
Yeah, I liked it too. There are some things that really bothered me about it because that's how
how you roll.
That's what I do. But I think that the good far outweighed the stuff that worked far outweighed the stuff that did not work for me.
I agree with that.
I can tell you, for me, the heart and soul of this movie is Margot Robbie. She was the producer.
Yeah.
She's, of course, the Harley Quinn of the subtitle, I guess. And I feel like without what she's doing in this movie, nothing else works. And when she's on screen, I'm invested. When it's electric.
Yeah.
She's got it.
Yeah, she's great.
Whatever it is in everything that she's in, she's got it. Oh yeah, whatever it is, she's got it. It was an attempt at a walk and I failed completely.
That's okay.
My voice just wasn't there for that one.
No worries.
But when she's not on screen, I don't care about this movie. I guess what I'm trying to say is I don't have the investment in any of the other characters that I have in her.
Sense. Yeah.
And I feel like this movie does a really good job of nailing the character of Harley Quinn, because
I agree with that. I was thinking that as well.
The Suicide Squad, she's the best. I think we all agree she's probably the best thing about the Suicide Squad movie.
Yeah.
But that movie took a swing at Harley Quinn, and I don't think they nailed it. I think this movie nails it.
Yeah.
Because it captures all aspects of Harley Quinn. That she's very intelligent.
Yeah.
She's sympathetic, but she's not defined by her tragedy.
Right.
She rises above, and she's an anti-hero. She's doing terrible things, but she's mad, and it does a really...
It's like revenge, and people understand that.
And I feel like this movie really captures the aspect of Harley Quinn, the duality. It's not even duality, it's like...
complexity.
Octoality. Yeah, the complexity of the character.
She's a complex character. She is an anti-hero. She does terrible things, but at the same time, like you said, you do sympathize with her, and she has moments where she is caring.
Yeah.
Right?
And I would go as far as to say, one of the things that occurred to me as I'm watching this movie is I'm like, anybody else besides Margot Robbie, who's got that it factor, baby, it doesn't work. Yeah. I can't imagine anybody else being able to do what she does, because you care about her, like you're invested. She's vulnerable, but she's also strong, and she's also soft, and she's also tough, and she's also like a killer, you know? It really captures that in the way that I don't think Suicide Squad I think it tried, and I don't think it... People say sometimes, like, well, what's the deal with, like, why are we invested in Harley Quinn? Why is she a character that we want to cosplay as?
Right.
I think this movie answers that question.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. This movie did it.
It did, yeah. But all the other stuff, I don't really care about. The Birds of Prey element, I don't really care about.
I didn't care particularly about the group, the Birds of Prey, until the end. Yeah. And then I was like, oh, but you know what? I went into this movie, I didn't know anything about this movie. I didn't even know it was rated R until I leaned over the theater and I was like, was this rated R? I mean, it's fine, but I didn't know. Yeah. And so I'm just pointing out that I literally knew nothing going into this movie other than Harley Quinn. And so, you know, the whole time I'm thinking, like, how's this going to play out? How's this going to be like a group thing or whatever?
They did it.
And at the end, they did.
They pulled it together.
I actually thought, I was like, oh, I kind of like that. I would enjoy a sequel where it was like the whole thing was the group together. Yeah.
So many movies are like that now, where they end where you kind of wish they would start. Yeah. I feel like this movie is a Harley Quinn movie that they've tacked the Birds of Prey onto. And there's a whole conversation to be had. We've had this conversation so many times over the last months, if not years, at Serial at Midnight. Warner Brothers chasing things instead of developing them organically. Yeah. This movie feels like it started as a Harley Quinn movie, and then they were like, we could add the Birds of Prey to this. Yeah. You mentioned R-rated. I do want to say, I'm not crazy about DC movies being rated R. Maybe for some characters that we haven't really seen on screen yet, like a Dead Man movie or a Swamp Thing movie or something like that. Certain characters lend themselves to an R-rated take. I don't approve of the Joker, just that general. I don't approve of anything in the Joker movie. We haven't really talked about it here on the channel. That's really all. I don't like that movie. Not because it's so dark.
Right. No, dark doesn't bother you.
Dark does not bother me. I just don't think anything works.
And you know what I thought in the Harley Quinn movie?
What?
Like her Harley Quinn laugh in this movie is 10 million times better.
Right?
Than the laugh in the
Then that
Joker
weird
movie.
thing that Joaquin Phoenix is doing that he's getting an Oscar for, probably. Yeah, it is. We're recording this before the Oscars. Enough about the Joker. But this is another R-rated movie. 2 of the characters in this movie originate in a freaking animated series. I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. 2 of the characters from this movie are from a cartoon. Renee Montoya and the Harley Quinn character originated in the Batman the Animated Series cartoon, and I just feel like it's kind of short-sighted to push the R rating on this, and I think that's kind of what Warner Brothers is doing. They're pushing the envelope to see if this is their angle,
right?
Like, well, maybe if we make them very R-rated and adult, and that gives it higher violence, language, stuff like that. What did you think about the action scenes? Because this has some of the most ball-breaking action we've had in a DC movie.
You know, I will say for me, I thought the movie was really cinematic. Like, it's colorful. It was entertaining to look at. And I liked a lot of the action scenes.
Yeah, I liked a lot of the action scenes, too. I don't want to spoil anything. I'll say the booby trap. Amazing. Amazing. Set design as well. The set design for so many of these sets, because it takes place in Gotham City. And they kind of get to visit some of the places we haven't seen in a... Okay, so Founders Pier.
Right.
These are locations...
I was thinking that in the movie. Like, we don't get to see these places very often.
These are not spoilers. Are locations spoilers?
I don't know.
Founders Pier from Gotham City and an abandoned carnival factors into the movie.
Yeah, those are both great scenes.
They were, just atmosphere. The prison, there's a prison action scene that is kind of in the trailers, and I thought that was really, really impressive. It was
I thought the
cool.
action scenes were well done. I liked them.
I liked the action scenes too. The more we talk about it, the more I realize that my main issues are, I feel like it's just a little scattered when it wanders away from Harley Quinn's story. It's like it has to serve these other characters that it doesn't really have time to deal with.
It just wasn't as cohesive maybe as it could have been, as cohesive of a story. But it was still good.
I'm also not crazy about what Ewan McGregor... I love Ewan McGregor.
Yeah.
I'm not crazy about what he's doing in this movie. It's a very... And the take on the character that he's performing in this movie, that character, who I won't spoil, just in case, whatever.
Yeah.
It's a departure from the source material. And DC keeps doing... I say DC, it's Warner Brothers. Yeah. Warner Brothers keeps doing this. They keep trying to change the characters from decades of established continuity.
Yeah.
I should also say, Birds of Prey, I just pulled this from the collection. Birds of Prey goes back decades. The earliest material in this trade paperback alone is in 1995. So we're talking about Birds of Prey 25 years back. But yet we're changing things for the screen. I know you have to change things for the screen.
Yeah,
but I think
totally.
Maybe they're changing too much. I feel like they just don't believe in their characters. And they're trying to make them tougher, grittier.
Yeah.
I don't love that.
What he did with that character was interesting.
Yeah. And that's not in the source material.
And Zaz. Did you want to talk about
Zaz? Yeah, I do want to talk. So I mean, we like Chris Messina is his name, right? From the Mindy Project. He's I like him. I'm not sure what he's. I feel like in this movie he's doing an Elmer Fudd thing, and
like a toned down,
slightly less character. Like he's taking the W's, the wabbit. He's taking the W's away, and everything else is just the same. He's like, "Do you want me to kill him, boss? Do you want me to take care of it for you, boss?" It's Elmer Fudd. He's totally Elmer Fudd in this movie.
I didn't get that necessarily, but I did wonder, like, does this character have a backstory where he had, like, something's not completely 100% right with him?
I feel like he's in the Suicide Squad movie too, but we've just forgotten it.
Maybe so.
Because we haven't watched that.
That might be true.
That's not a movie we revisit often.
No, we saw it in the theater, I think. And
we have it too.
That was it, though. We didn't watch it again, did we?
I don't remember. I think maybe I watched it after we picked up the disc version.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Something I want to... So we like it.
we do.
I would have liked it more as a PG-13 movie, I think. But then again, I say that I don't know if this movie could have been done as a PG-13.
That's true.
Because they lean so hard into adult material. Yeah. And again, not that I'm offended by that.
Oh no,
but
not at all.
Comic book characters, guys. These aren't adult comic book characters. These are just general mainstream comic book characters that they're giving a very dark take on. And I don't necessarily love that. But then there are aspects of it I do really love, like the booby trap scene. That was fantastic.
Yeah.
One of the things that I want to talk about, because I know the internet and I know YouTube, this is a movie that is written by a woman who the co-writer, I believe, of the Bumblebee movie, which we loved.
Yeah, we did.
It's my favorite Transformers movie outside of the original animated Transformers movie. It's directed by a woman.
Yep.
It's produced by Margot Robbie, among others.
Yeah.
And it stars primarily a cast of women.
Yeah.
Whether this movie succeeds or fails, which we're recording this on the weekend, we have no box office numbers. If it succeeds, the narrative will be one thing. If it fails, I know the narrative is going to be people don't want to go see female-led movies directed by women. We don't want to see female superheroes.
Yeah, which is not our feeling at all.
Well, it's not my feeling. I wanted to ask what you think about that take, if you wanted to speak to it.
Oh, well, I think it's incorrect. I mean, I think it should be incorrect. I don't think people
should be, but I think it is a thing.
Judging movies based on that, but the internet constantly does. I mean, I honestly was wondering, our theater didn't have many people in it. To be fair, there weren't a lot of people at the movies in general today, and it was a beautiful sunny day, and I don't know, but there weren't a lot of people in our theater. And after I realized it was rated R, I was like, well, maybe that's why there's not as many people here, because you can't grab the family and take everybody to
you don't take the kids to see the Birds of Prey movie.
Right, yeah. So that was what I wondered first. But I don't often go to, it's just primarily a cast of women and a woman director, so people are going to be like, no thanks. But I'm also a woman, so... But it is a narrative.
So let me ask you this. Just to... We'll do point, counterpoint. Okay. We'll try to cut off some... questions that people might be having.
Okay.
As a woman, do you go see movies will you ever go see a movie because it's directed by a woman and written by a woman and has a female cast? Do you care enough about those issues, or do you just want to see a good movie?
Honestly, my answer is both, which I know is hard. It's kind of complicated. Okay. I like to support things that are created by women because I feel like historically women are often overlooked. Yeah. So I like to support those things, and I think that's fair to say. And I'm sure people will disagree, and that's fine, and you can. But those are my feelings. But also, given my my degree and what I do for a living, I'm constantly looking for that. I'm looking for.
Are you educated? You have education? You're a woman. How do you have education?
Self-educated.
Yeah.
I'm also looking for diversity. I do feel like people
want to see themselves on screen, right?
They want to see themselves represented, just like I like to see...
That's why Black Panther was huge.
Well, I like to see women.
Yeah.
People like to see people who look like them, and I think that's a reasonable thing to think about. And I do think this movie had both of those things. So I do look for that. It's not my driving force necessarily as to whether I'll like or dislike a movie. Because I feel like that's too short-sighted. But I do think about that, and I do look at that.
Well, and then a counterpoint to that, again, we're judging our thoughts based off of the empty theater that we saw this movie in. I mean, there were, 15 people in there? Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Is that it's an R-rated movie about... Outside of Harley Quinn, who has achieved, an A-level... people know Harley Quinn now.
Yeah, definitely.
But... no one knows who the rest of these characters are, and the movie's not called Harley Quinn. The movie is called Birds of Prey.
Right.
So it is a big swing to just spring. There's been no seeds planted with these characters and anything else that I'm aware of. To correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah. Seems like there could be multiple factors. In terms of the success or lack of success of this movie, we don't know yet, but. It does seem like if it were not successful, the narrative would turn to the women argument, because it often does. It
absolutely does. And that's why I wanted to bring it up in this video, so that we would at least address it. It's not something we can solve, but it's something we can talk about. And I wanted your take on that, because I just like to go see good movies. And I'm never... drawn nor pushed away by the gender of the cast. Like, I was not like, Captain Marvel's a woman, I can't go see that. Never. And I don't care. And I'm not like, that man was just beaten by a woman, I can't watch this. Like, that doesn't factor into any of my viewing. Is it a good story? Does it look interesting? That's what I care about. I think that's what a lot of people care about. But there will be viewers of this video who have some of these opinions, so I wanted to address them just so we could have some conversation about them. But I don't know. I like this movie. I feel like it does miss some opportunities. It could have been this thing, but with studio movies, this is the thing with these comic book movies. You guys, if you're only watching these big blockbuster movies, these are compromised movies from the beginning. I'm so happy for the writer. I'm happy for the director. I'm happy for Margot Robbie, who is a tour de force in this movie. But these big studio movies are compromises. They're not like a vision. They're not. They are, manufactured for mainstream, just popcorn munching appeal. And this feels like that. I feel like this could have been more, and that's just kind of a bummer.
Yeah. I'd watch it again.
Absolutely. We're definitely gonna pick this up on the 4K when it comes out, just for.
Ooh, that'd look great.
It's a very visually impressive movie. It looks really good. There's cool animation in here as well.
There is. I really liked that.
Good animation. Yeah. So I don't know. So we like it. Yeah. We don't love it. We like it. Most things we like. True, most things we like. We don't love.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it's for an R-rated movie, which I wish it wasn't, but for what it is, it's all right. It's pretty good. Pretty good.
I agree.
Okay. Guys, thanks for hanging out. What did you think about the Birds of Prey movie? Are you just skipping it, waiting for home media, waiting for it to hit Netflix or something, the DC Universe streaming service? Let's weigh in the comments below and continue the conversation. Keep it going. Yeah. Thanks so much for hanging out with us, talking about this movie. So take care, and until next time, we will catch you later.